Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, it's the day after our big monthly meeting, and I just want to report that it went amazing. It was a really good one. I know I say that every month, but I mean, it's true. It's a great time, and had a few new people there. And the new people, it's always funny to have a new family come in and come to the meeting. They're kind of in awe of what we're doing. It's just, what? This, I had no idea it was like this. So it was a really good meeting. I had, several people in the meeting. I think this is kind of cool. But several families and stuff in the meeting, they have little small businesses, they make things, or just different stuff like that. Try to bring in a little extra money, and they're really starting to get the hang of setting up, because we have about half the building. We have a bunch of tables set up, kind of like an open market. We don't charge any kind of table fee. It's just first come, first serve. And we encourage bartering, silver, gold usage, things like that. And so it was really good, and seeing that just kind of fill up more and more. Had a new family ask, hey, how can we get a table? I'm like, just bring your stuff and set a table up. We've run out. There's a bunch of tables in the back. We'll set more up. But it's a really good thing to watch. Had a couple of great speakers yesterday, and then just a good time. I mean, food and kids running around, people talking for several hours, just networking and sharing ideas, all the things that the big globalist, deep state takeover doesn't want us to do. That's what we were doing yesterday. And so it was a really great day. There's a lot of stuff in the news, of course. I mean, that never changes anymore. Just to give you some updates, if you've not been paying attention, Joe Biden and his family, and this is according to the news. I can't promise you that this is accurate. I'm just relaying the message. I guess his family met last night, and some of his key people, to try to figure out if Joe Biden should continue forward with his campaign for re-election. And apparently what the news is saying, that Hunter Biden and Jill Biden were the two that convinced him that you need to stick with this. And so that they're staying, that he's absolutely staying in the race. He's still going to run. Now, of course, all that can change. There's, I don't know, what is it, 160 days approximately, something like that, to the election. So a lot could happen between now and then. But according to right now, that's the story. Now, news is also reporting that the Democrat Party has been notified by several large donors, big far left donors, that they're not going to be giving any more money to Joe Biden's campaign. It's not happening. And there are still many people in prominent positions, apparently, that have called and said, hey, you need to drop out of this race and let someone else handle it. There's also reports coming in from around the world of different foreign leaders saying that this is a joke. So we'll see what happens. Now, it's connected, I think. It's also in the news at the same time this is going on. It's also in the news that Israel and the IDF apparently is just about ready to go to war against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And the reports are that even though it's technically a war against Hezbollah, not the whole nation of Lebanon, they suspect that the whole nation of Lebanon will get drawn into this, and so it will be an Israeli versus Lebanon fight. And I've said all along that I would say, regardless of what the decision is with Biden running for office or not, there's going to need to be a distraction, and maybe this is the one, because apparently the IDF had a strategy meeting, and there's some things that's come out of that leaked out in the news, and apparently they were saying that in that meeting that they felt like they had no other choice. Like they're at a point with Hezbollah that they have to fight them, or just raise the white flag, and they think that it should happen soon, that they should not wait any longer, that they should start this and make their attack soon. And it also came out that they are worried that this may be a very long drawn out war, and that there's no guarantee that Israel will actually be able to defeat Hezbollah and Lebanon, especially the fact that Iran, Syria, other places are kind of backing Lebanon up. And I know that sounds kind of crazy for a lot of you. You might be saying, "Oh, come on, Israel can take them on." Israel's been busy down in Gaza, and now they're shifting gears up there. And Hezbollah's a pretty large organization, and so I could see at least being a long, drawn-out war. I mean, look how long it's taken to just, and they're not even finished yet, but how long it's taken for them to conquer a little sliver of land there in Gaza. So there's a lot going on here, and this could be the distraction that Joe Biden needs, something like that. So there's a lot of things happening. Also, I noticed yesterday and this isn't new, okay? I just want to make a point. It's in the news, a lot of different protests. I guess over the weekend there was a big pride protest in New York, and then also a support Hamas, support Gaza protest, and they clashed. And there was this big riot, fighting, all this kind of stuff. Over in France, they had some elections, and the liberals are not happy, and so they're rioting. There's a few other places around the world. And it's just something I want to point out, that we're seeing this more and more. We're seeing a lot of just chaotic behavior. Rioting, protests that end up in riots, all this kind of stuff. And it seems to be more often. It's the same way with like the mass shootings. Mass shootings, I can remember a time when it was a very rare thing. And when there was some kind of a mass shooting, it was all over the news and everyone kind of stopped. It was almost like back when shuttles were launched and stuff. Everyone stopped and paid attention to it. There's a mass shooting. Now they happen just every few days. It's just common, and no one even pays attention to them anymore. And the point that I'm making with all of this is these are signs of the times, folks. These are signs of the times that the love of men is waxing cold, and that chaos is abound. We are watching our society, American society, Western society, human society, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But we are watching it fall apart. We're watching hatred build. We're watching fear and chaotic things. There's no order anymore. And it's because God's taken out of it. It's because the Father's been removed out of it. And when you remove him from the equation, then you do have chaos, right? You have chaos, you have evilness, you have lies, you have all these things. And all I want to do is just point out that amongst all the things that as preppers, we're paying attention to, pandemics and sun and wars and, elections and all these kinds of things. I just want to make a note that the world is falling apart. People are falling apart. People are just, they're losing it. They're losing it. And the amount of just evilness and hatred and chaotic behavior and violence and all that kind of stuff is on the rise. And I believe personally, and I believe very solidly, that's because we are in those times. I'm not saying that the second coming is next week or something like that. I'm just saying we're in that time period that's leading into that. And I mean, it could be years away. The timeline to me is completely irrelevant because we don't have any way of knowing what it is anyways. What's important to me is that we're watching the seasons change. And the seasons are changing into something very dark. And we have to be ready for that. Yes, physically ready, because as those seasons change, it's gonna be bad. We get that. We have to be psychologically ready because we're going to experience and see things that are going to just shake us to the core. But when I see these seasons change, the big thing, the big red flag, the bells and the whistles and the sirens all go off saying that you better check yourself in here. I mean, most of us, especially I think just your Bible believing folk, you probably, I'm good, I'm saved, I'm good. It's not just a matter of just simply salvation. It's where how solid and secure are you there? How solid and ready are you for all the chaos? the spiritual warfare, all that kind of stuff. So when we see all these things happening, again, it's like Scripture tells us. It's like the signs of the time, signs of the seasons. We can tell the season is changing, and we better get ourselves ready for it. Make sure our lamps are filled with oil, and our hearts are filled with the one and true Almighty, because we're gonna go through some tough times. I mean, we're hated. There's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to it's going to get rough. We have to get ready for that. And it's not just the election. It's not just the next bobble-headed, politician, all that kind of stuff. We talk about it sometimes because it's interesting, sometimes because it's important. But in the end, the things that are really mattering, the things that are really changing, is what you need to make sure is changed in here. Because, yeah, it's getting there, folks. It's time to get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.